Welcome back to a lecture where we will cover a couple of more where clause keywords. And those are like, in, between, and is. So for the first one, the like, we use it when we want to unlock wildcards. So this is used when we don't know the exact term that we are looking for. For example, when we don't know one character or multiple characters in a search term in the where clause. The in keyword, we use it when we want to include multiple terms which we are searching for. The between is used, for example, when we want to look for the results in some particular time frame, for example, from one date to another date. And finally, the is keyword is used with a null. Again, null is a special case, and we cannot compare it with the equal sign because a null is an ambiguous value for which we do not know a value. It is practically non-existent. Let's go to a couple examples to see how this works. I'm on my HR schema and I'm querying from the employees table. Let's say, for example, that I'm looking for an employee with last name, but I do not know exactly his last name. I only know the first letter starts with O. How do I query that? We do that with the like keyword and the wildcard of percentage. So select the desired columns from the employees table where last name, like, and then in the quotes, O and the percentage sign. Now, the only important comparison is the uppercase letter O. Let's execute this. And as we can see, we got all of the employees with a last name starting with an O. Regarding the second wildcard, which replaces only one character, and that is the underscore. Let's say I know approximately the last name of an employee is Olsen or Olson. I don't know about the fourth letter. And I can write that as Ols underscore and N. Now, the underscore replaces one character, exactly one character. This cannot be an empty space. It has to be some character, even the white space. So let's execute this. And as we can see, we got the Olsen and the Olson returned in our query. A really cool thing with the wildcards is that they work also with the number and the data types. So for example, I can query by the employee ID, where the employee ID is like 10 and the percentage sign. Now, I'm getting all of the employees with employee ID, which start with 1, 0, and any or 0 characters after that. So for example, if I would have an employee ID with the number 10, it would be included in this result set. And as said, we can use the like also with the data types. So for example, if I want to query employees which have been hired only in 2005, I can write that as where hire date like, and let's say percentage sign and 0.5. Let's execute this and have in mind that an implicit conversion will happen and the query will look at the results for the hire date which end with 0.5. Let's execute this. As we can see, we got all of the employees which have been hired in 2005. Very nice. The in keyword is used when we want to compare with multiple values. For example, if we search for employees and we want to include only, for example, Davids, Kevins, and Williams in that, we can do that with following where clause. So, where, first name, in, and then in the brackets, I add David, Kevin, and William. Again, have in mind, this is case sensitive, right? Let's execute this. And as we can see, we got all of the employees which have the name David, Kevin, or William. The in keyword actually just simplifies a combination of comparison. We could write also this where clause as where first name is David or first name is Kevin or first name is William, right? And now this is completely the same query as with the in keyword. Let's try that. As we can see, we got completely the same results returned to us. If I would like to exclude any David, Kevin, or William from our query, I would write as first name different than and first name different than Kevin and first name different than William, right? And let's see the results. As we can see, there are no Davids, Kevins, or Williams present in our result set. But with the in clause, I can do that much simpler, just by adding the not keyword. So my where clause would be where first name, not, in, and then in the brackets, the names we want to add, divided by comma, right? And let's close the brackets. This is completely the same query now. As we can see, they are completely the same. No Davids, no Kevins, and no Williams. The between keyword is very simple. In our example, let's say we want to find all of the employees which have a salary between two numbers. So for example, let's query it where they have a salary between 5 and 8,000. We're gonna do that in the where clause. So where salary between 5,000 and 8,000. Let's execute this to see the results. And we can see we got all of the employees that have salary between 5,000 and 8,000. And note that the values 5,000 and 8,000 are also included. You can see those values are included. We could have written this query also with greater than and less than, and it would look like following, where salary greater or equal to 5,000 and salary less or equal to 8,000. Again, completely the same results. Of course, with the between, we can also use the not keyword. If we write salary between 5,000 and 8,000, we get the results from 5,000 and 8,000. But if you want to get all the results which are lower than 5,000 and higher than 8,000, we just have to add the not keyword. So not between 5,000 and 8,000. As we can see, we got results for employees which have salary less than 5,000 and greater than 8,000. And as always, there's special handling with the null values. We cannot write, for example, if we search for a record that has some null value as where, for example, manager ID equals null. This is completely wrong. We do not get any results returned. We have to use the is keyword. And this is completely fine, because we cannot equalize any value with a null, because the null is unknown, non-existent back, right? Let's execute this query with the is keyword. And as we can see, the query found that record. Of course, even with the is, we can use the not keyword, as in find all of the records where manager ID is not null. And as we can see, results are correct. Cool. This is it for this one. Check the provided resources and practice this out. See you in the next one.